I think the Queen's duty and her service, her tolerance, her commitment to others.
The royal family has rarely been out of the spotlight, and recently, a new event has captured everyone's attention. Prince William, who has been taking on more royal duties, made a secret visit to Scotland. Yet it wasn't just the visit itself, it was what triggered it that raised questions. Sources close to the palace say William's trip came after unexpected and shocking news. But what was this news? And why did it require a secret trip to Scotland? Join us as we uncover the story behind Prince William's secret visit that has everyone talking. Prince William's secret trip. Prince William quietly flew to Scotland to spend time with King Charles, just 2 weeks after the King's long-awaited reunion with Prince Harry. Recently, Prince William boarded a private jet to Balmoral for a short stay with his father. It wasn't an official trip, just a private visit, the kind that has become somewhat of a tradition for the two since Charles became king in 2022. But there's more to this trip than meets the eye, and it has captured public curiosity. King Charles often retreats to Birkhall, his private home on the Balmoral estate. The house, which he inherited from his grandmother, the Queen Mother, in 2002, is his favorite Scottish hideaway. Unlike Balmoral Castle, which hosts family gatherings, Birkhall is more personal and peaceful, a place where the king prefers to relax away from the public eye. The Daily Mail shared photos of William stepping off a private jet at Aberdeen Airport, carrying a simple duffel bag and still wearing the same navy suit he had on earlier in the day while attending an engagement with his wife, Kate Middleton, in Southport. This trip was different from the royal family's traditional summer holiday at Balmoral Castle, which usually brings several generations together. Instead, William's visit was more personal, just father and son spending a few quiet days together. Earlier that same day, William and Kate had made a heartfelt visit to Southport to meet a grieving community mourning the tragic deaths of 3 young girls who lost their lives at a Taylor Swift-themed dance class in July 2024. It was an emotional outing for the couple. During the visit, the prince also paid tribute to the pupils' classmates and the teachers, highlighting the dedication of the school staff in supporting children through their grief. He commended the teachers for going above and beyond to help heal this incredible group of young people. But they didn't stop there. The royal couple also viewed an art project created to help the children process their grief. Jenny Sefton, head of Farnborough Road Infant School, explained that the project was part of a long-term support effort. She described the royal visit as special, noting that the emotional impact of the attack had been deeply felt across staff, pupils, and families. She emphasized that recovery would take time because she knew it wasn't going to be solved in a year. Children need support, and adults need support for a long time. Throughout the visit, the focus was on remembrance, healing, and resilience. Prince William's engagement with both pupils and staff highlighted the ongoing efforts to support the community and ensure that the victims, their classmates, and their families were not forgotten. Meanwhile, the week before William's trip, King Charles met privately with Prince Harry, a meeting that many didn't expect to happen so soon. According to a report, the Duke of Sussex visited Clarence House, his father's London residence, for their first in-person meeting in 19 months. The visit lasted about 55 minutes. Buckingham Palace later confirmed that the two shared a private tea, but gave no further details. Harry's spokesperson said the same, that it was a private family moment. The short meeting sparked hope that the long-standing rift between father and son might finally be easing. The tension within the royal family has been no secret since Harry and Meghan Markle stepped back from their royal duties in 2020 and moved to California. In recent interviews, Harry has hinted that he wants to rebuild bridges. According to a report, he said he would love to have a reconciliation. He also publicly confirmed that his latest trip to England made him feel closer to the idea of bringing his children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, back for visits one day. When asked about the possibility, Harry replied, "Yes, that would be welcome. Even though there are signs that Harry and King Charles are getting closer, the relationship between Harry and his brother William is still very tense. According to royal expert Robert Lacey, who wrote Battle of Brothers, the disagreement between the two brothers runs deep. He says the rift is serious and will last a long time. Lacey believes it won't improve unless Harry takes a step toward reconciliation, which would include offering an apology to William. Historian Amanda Foreman agrees, noting everyone wants it to happen on their terms, but that's what makes it impossible. While King Charles and Harry may be slowly rebuilding their relationship, Prince William's recent private visit to Scotland shows where his focus is right now, on spending time with his father and strengthening their bond, away from the public eye. Even as Prince Harry's meeting with King Charles stirred quiet optimism, many wondered what Meghan Markle thought about it. Sources close to the Duchess of Sussex suggested that while she supports any step toward healing between Harry and his family, she remains cautious. Meghan reportedly understands how much Harry misses his father and brother, but she has not forgotten how painful the past few years have been. According to royal commentators, Meghan is not opposed to reconciliation, but she wants to ensure that any future contact with the royal family happens in a way that protects her husband and their children from emotional strain. Some insiders believe Meghan would be willing to return to the UK eventually, but only when she feels the environment is genuinely welcoming. For now, she prefers to stay in California, where she and Harry are building a quieter, more private life. Meghan has also emphasized that their two children, Archie and Lilibet, are her top priority, and she doesn't want them caught in royal tension or public scrutiny. Those close to her say she wants peace, but not at the cost of reopening old wounds. While Harry has shown signs of softening toward his father, Meghan reportedly feels that trust will take time to rebuild, especially with Prince William, given the deep divide between the two brothers. She supports Harry's wish for his children to know their grandfather, but she remains uncertain about how realistic that will be in the near future. Still, observers note that Meghan's willingness to let Harry reconnect with King Charles is a positive sign. Although the royal family's reconciliation has captured much of the UK's attention, another growing concern is King Charles's health and how Prince William is gradually taking on more royal duties. What is the latest on the king's condition, and how has it changed over time? Let's take a closer look at how King Charles's health has reportedly deteriorated and whether William may soon step in. Stay tuned. The truth about King Charles's health. King Charles's health concerns began long before today. The first known incident happened in 1962 when he was just 13 years old at Cheam School. What started as a stomachache quickly turned into something serious when doctors discovered that his appendix was dangerously inflamed. He was rushed to Great Ormond Street Hospital for emergency surgery, which was done just in time before it could burst. It was his first real experience with a medical emergency, and it marked the beginning of a lifetime of health challenges. By 1980, his love for polo had become one of his biggest health risks. During a match at Windsor, he was thrown from his pony and kicked in the face, leaving a deep cut that needed stitches. Later that same year, after another match in Florida, he collapsed from exhaustion and dehydration. Doctors gave him fluids and kept him under observation. It was clear that his passion for the sport pushed his body to the edge, and while he was always quick to recover, the incident showed how dangerous his favorite pastime could be. A decade later, Charles faced one of his worst injuries. During another polo game, he broke his right arm in 2 places. The injury was so serious that he had to undergo surgery, and when one of the fractures didn't heal properly, doctors operated again, using a small piece of bone from his hip to fix it. In 1998, Charles suffered more setbacks, first breaking a rib after a fall during a hunt, then undergoing keyhole surgery on his right knee to repair worn cartilage. It was a simple procedure, but it revealed how much strain years of physical activity had put on his joints. His body was beginning to show the signs of wear and tear, yet his determination to keep an active lifestyle never faded. The years that followed brought more injuries. In 2001, he fell from a horse during a fox hunt and fractured a small bone in his shoulder. Doctors advised him to rest, but a few months later, during a charity polo match, he was thrown off his horse again and knocked unconscious. he was taken to the... In 2003, Charles's health concerns began to shift from sports injuries to more routine medical issues. That March, he had a hernia operation at King Edward VII's Hospital in London. He was discharged the next day and even made a joke as he left, saying, "Hernia today, gone tomorrow." The light-hearted comment showed his habit of treating even uncomfortable situations with humor. Years later, in 2008, he had a small, non-cancerous growth removed from the bridge of his nose. However, it was described as a minor procedure. When the COVID-19 pandemic struck, Charles caught the virus in 2020. His symptoms were mild, and he isolated at his Scottish home until he recovered. Even after being vaccinated, he tested positive again in 2022, though once more his symptoms were mild. Then came January 2024, when the palace announced shocking news. Official news from the palace stated that the king would undergo a procedure for an enlarged prostate, a common condition in older men. He was admitted to the London clinic and stayed for 3 nights before being discharged. The operation initially seemed routine, but it led to a more serious discovery. In February 2024, the palace revealed that during that same treatment, doctors had found a form of cancer. It wasn't prostate cancer, but they didn't say what kind it was. Charles began regular outpatient treatments and was advised to cut down on public engagements. This became the most serious health challenge of his life and marked a new phase. In early 2025, he was briefly hospitalized again due to side effects from his ongoing cancer treatment. The palace described it as a precaution, and he was home shortly after. Even so, it showed how closely his medical team was watching his condition and how determined he was to keep up with his royal duties whenever possible. Over time, Charles has also spoken about his long-term back and neck pain, a result of all the falls and injuries from his younger days. The pain is managed with simple measures, like using cushions during long trips or events. It's a constant discomfort, but one that he lives with quietly. And then there are his swollen hands, the so-called sausage fingers, that often draw public attention. Though he has never explained what causes them, doctors have suggested it could be arthritis or fluid retention. Whatever the reason, it hasn't affected his work or spirit. Looking back, King Charles's health story is one of endurance more than illness. From a boy recovering from an emergency surgery to a monarch quietly facing cancer, he has weathered every challenge with steady determination. Given his current health, the bigger question has become whether Prince William might soon step in, as he is gradually taking on more royal duties than before. But how likely is this? Has anything like it ever happened in British royal history? Keep watching, because we're about to reveal what few have ever shared about the royal family. Is King Charles stepping down? Abdication in the British monarchy has always been something very rare. In fact, it has only happened once in modern British history. That was in 1936, when King Edward VIII gave up the throne so he could marry Wallis Simpson. It shocked the whole country and even changed how people saw the monarchy. Because of that one event, any talk about King Charles stepping down feels huge, like history might repeat itself. Abdication isn't something the British royals do often. It's almost seen as breaking an unspoken rule. When Edward VIII made his decision, it wasn't simple. Parliament had to pass a special law called His Majesty's Declaration of Abdication Act 1936 to make it official. That law still exists, but it's rarely mentioned today. It's the only example in modern times where a monarch has officially stepped down. If King Charles ever wanted to abdicate, something similar would need to happen again. A big legal process involving the government, Parliament, and even other countries where he is king. It would be a major event, not just a personal choice. Still, the only reason abdication even comes up now is because of King Charles's health. Early in 2024, the king shared that he was being treated for cancer found after a prostate procedure. That news made many people worry and wonder about the future. Some started asking if he might eventually hand over the throne to Prince William. But the truth is, British monarchs don't retire. They serve until the very end of their lives. So far, Even though the king has slowed down at times and cancelled a few public duties, there's no sign that he plans to give up his position. What people have noticed, though, is that Prince William is becoming more visible. Since his father's diagnosis, he's been handling more royal work, hosting events, attending ceremonies, and meeting world leaders. He's been heir to the throne for years, but lately it feels like he's getting ready for something bigger. He's showing confidence that reminds people of his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II. This growing presence has made many think that the royal family is already preparing for a smooth handover when the time comes. Still, that doesn't mean Charles is abdicating. It just means William is ready whenever it happens naturally. Meanwhile, the palace has revealed something surprising. Until now, they have been clear that there are no plans for abdication. People close to the royal household have said that King Charles is not the type to step down. He sees his role as a lifelong duty, not a temporary job. That view matches how his late mother ruled. She promised to serve her whole life, and she did. Charles has said many times that he was inspired by her sense of service. Because of that, most royal experts believe he will stay on the throne until the very end, just like she did. Of course, there are plans in place if a monarch becomes too sick to work but doesn't want to abdicate. The law has something called the Regency Acts, which allows another royal, usually the heir, to carry out duties if the king can't. That isn't abdication, it's just a way to make sure the country keeps running smoothly. In the past, regencies have happened when monarchs were too young or too ill to rule. If King Charles ever becomes too weak to work, Prince William could step in officially without his father ever stepping down. It's a simple and respectful way to keep things stable. This gradual sharing of duties is actually what's happening now. William has been slowly taking over some roles, and it feels like part of a planned process rather than an emergency. Instead of a sudden change, it's a smooth transition. In the past, the heir would just wait quietly until the monarch died or abdicated. But now, the royal family works more like a team, with everyone helping out. This new style helps the monarchy stay modern and steady at the same time. However, even with his health challenges, the king has not completely stepped back. He has just adjusted his schedule and allowed others to help. He still attends big national events and hosts meetings when he can. This lighter schedule isn't a sign that he wants to quit. It just shows he's being careful. He's pacing himself, not preparing to leave. Public opinion also plays a big part in this. Abdication caused a lot of chaos the last time it happened in 1936. It almost damaged the monarchy's reputation, and the royal family has never forgotten that. Because of that, advisors around King Charles probably see abdication as something to avoid. At the same time, William and Catherine's growing importance shows that the royal family is preparing for the future in its own quiet way. The couple has been given new responsibilities, like being allowed to grant royal warrants in the future, a privilege that shows trust. They've also been more active at national and international events. Their presence gives people confidence that when the time finally comes, the monarchy will remain strong. Even so, it's worth remembering that abdication is still technically possible. The law allows it, and history shows it can be done, but that doesn't mean it's likely. For the monarchy, stability matters more than anything else. King Charles, despite his health issues, seems determined to stay where he is. So while abdication could happen, the chances are very slim. It would take something truly serious to make it real. Prince William, for his part, seems ready for the future. He talks about his role with a mix of seriousness and modern thinking. He understands that being king means serving for life, not just for a period. He's open to change, but also knows that tradition is important. That balance makes him seem like the right person to lead the next generation of the monarchy. He doesn't appear eager for his father to step aside, just prepared for when his time comes naturally. And then there's Catherine. Over the years, she's grown into her role with grace and quiet strength. She's one of the most admired women in Britain and is often praised for her calm, relatable personality. Together, William and Catherine look ready to lead. They blend tradition with a modern touch, making the monarchy feel more open while still maintaining respect for history. If they continue on this path, there's every reason to believe William and Catherine will make a good king and queen. What What do you think about Prince William's secret trip that has stirred the news? Share your opinions with us in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, click the following video on your screen, and you will enjoy it.